And now, please welcome to the cage, in the blue corner, 38 years of age and standing at 193 centimeters tall. He brings a professional fighting record of 19 fights, 15 wins, and 4 defeats. Representing UFD Gym, from Germany, it's Hatef, the Boss Moeil!
Our main event, the heavyweight division, the big boys come out to play. Hatef Moeil, 38 years of age, makes his FNC debut tonight. Listen, I'm going to skim very quickly over the highlights of this man's operation. He came to FNC after he won Octagon. He won the championship belt there. Then he put up a little bit of a argy-bargy at the press conference, threw the belt, hit the owner of the organisation, and they decided to split bar. So he's arrived here. Came to fight against Darko Stosic, but the Serbian fighter injured himself in camp and pulled out of the match. So tonight he goes up against Miran Fabjan. He's 13 kilograms heavier than Miran and slapped Slow Rocky at the ceremonial weigh-ins. I kind of figure that was a big mistake. He's a big guy with a short temper. Never lost by a decision or submission. If he's going to win this, he needs to harass Miran with wrestling and try to get out of the first round. Look, he's won his last 11 bouts, trains out of the UFD gym, can do a lot of damage on his feet. He's a big guy. He's adapted a kickboxing game to MMA. While punching is his go-to, his elbows and knees causes all kinds of trouble. 10 of his wins were knockouts. Chris?
Yeah, he's a big physical guy, and he's a guy who's shown the ability to actually go 5 rounds, so fitness may be an important factor here.
And now, please welcome to the red corner in the cage, 40 years of age, standing at 182 centimeters. He brings a professional fighting record of 10 fights with 7 wins and 3 defeats. Representing Trojan Free Fighters Gym in Pula, Croatia, by way of Slovenia, it's Miran Slow Rocky Fabjan!
Miran Fabjan, an absolute star of the heavyweight division here at FNC. I've known Miran for over 20 years. He's a kickboxer, started off at WFC. He's just gone from strength to strength. He's like a good wine. He just gets better and better. Okay, he stepped in on 10 days short notice when Darko Stosic pulled out because of injury, as I said. Listen, there's beef with Hatef's coach Babek. I won't even get into that. All you need to know is Fabjan is on a 3-fight win streak. He's won 8 of his last 9, 40 years of age, originally from Slovenia. This guy punches out opponents like it's a video game. He's got heavy power, devastating accuracy. He threats, the threat remains for all 3 rounds. He can go that kind of distance, but he's particularly dangerous early on. Look at the camp he's got, the team he's got, the people behind him. This is a big night in the office.
It's always a big night when Miran Fabjan is fighting in FNC, and we've seen him save the show on short notice before. We've seen him come in against Darko Stosic, for example, on short notice, nearly winning. That was his only loss. In the promotion, I think he's just become a household name, like you said, Will. He has really become a must-see guy in different countries. We saw him last time on his 40th birthday knocking out Mikhail Kita in front of a partisan crowd. Today he comes in looking to upset things against a natural heavyweight. That's going to be the important calculus, I think. He's a much shorter, smaller, potentially quicker fighter. But hey, Miran Fabjan could do it. We know he's got TNT.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a right royal tear-up, if ever there was one. You know, in the nicest possible way, Miran Fabjan is as mad as a bag of snakes. And, you know, he's going to do this. He's going to do it early on. The crowd love him. He's a crowd pleaser. He just loves it all. And at 40 years of age, he's still doing it. This is going to be your ticket money right there.
Slovakia Fabjan!
Tail of the tape for this one. Huge weight advantage for Hatef Moeil. That's going to be an important number. He's going to have height, he's going to have reach, and we know he's got the record, an incredible win streak. The older fighter is Miran Fabjan, coming in on short notice. Can he get the win?
Buckle up, Funksters.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our final fight, our main event of the evening. Brought to you by Meridianbet. This MMA rules bout takes place in the heavyweight division, the land of the giants, and will be contested over 3 5-minute rounds. Your referee in charge when the action gets underway, Mr. Alexander Zoric. Fighters, to the center, please, for your final instructions.
Fighters, you know the rules. Listen to my command all the time. When I said
under
stop,
referee's
you
instructions,
stop. Touch
they
gloves
can't
if
wait
you
to
want.
get to it.
Go to your corners.
There's theatre and there's theatre. I think Hatef Moeil needs to be worried. He looks very focused, Miran. Actually, I have to say, I don't think any of them fancy this, really. But this is going to be your ticket money right there. Just to say to all you fans before this begins, you can get all your updates at www.fnc.hr. This is the action. Look at it straight away. Miran Fabjan against Hatef Moeil. Heavyweight bout. And the action being brought by Fabjan right from the get-go. He's bringing the heat and bringing the action to Moeil.
This has got to be the strategy for Fabjan. No quarter. Control the cage against the boss. Get him to throw, and then have the faster hands. That's where he's found openings.
You know what he's doing so well? He's getting on the inside and he's hurting Moeil. Moeil got some damage to his nose. He is slower and he's backing off. He doesn't fancy it. Goes for a takedown, and Fabjan won't get caught with that. Fabjan wants to keep it in the upright. And if anything, if it goes to the ground, that weight advantage of Moeil won't really advantage him because Rocky is just so tough, just so gritty. Well, already it's danger at every turn, every corner. This is like a nightmare bus ride that someone's going to get off at the next stop. Great hands there from Miran Fabjan. He lands those shots. He's outboxing Hatef Moeil here at FNC23. Moeil's hurt. Moeil starting to take big shots there. Rocky slowly just throwing shots from the hip, battering Hatef Moeil. He's in trouble. He's in hurt. It could be the first round finish for Miran Fabjan. He's lining the shot up, holding the head of Hatef Moeil. Moeil's down, struggling to stay in the upright.
Fabjan's just got to keep the flurry coming. Elbows, uppercuts. Moeil is just on ice skates here.
Moeil taking shots, elbows. He just does not fancy this. Where on earth does Miran, slow Rocky Fabjan, find it? He just came out. Dynamite TNT, like an absolute mushroom cloud he's laying here. And Hatef Moeil is still in this, but only by a thread. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the first round.
We need to see Fabjan just stay steady, though. We don't want to see what happened against Alexander Illich, where he got tired. Moeil just needs to recover here, especially as the pace slows a bit from Fabjan. We know Moeil is a veteran. We know he's been in here before. He's built up that streak with good reason.
He's covering up, trying to protect himself. A lot of energy being used by slow Rocky, and Fabjan trying to find that headshot to hurt his opponent, and he really has put him under pressure. Hatef Moeil just hasn't got an answer for this here, but if he can survive the first round, well, props to him, because he's taken some punishment, but that would be where it could turn for him in the second. And just taking big power shots from Fabjan, but trying to spoil slow Rocky coming in.
Fabjan's got to keep test going. You know, a couple of throwaway punches and then really turn one on when he sees a good, clear trajectory. He did it a moment ago, going body to the head with the right straight, finishing very hard. But
Moeil comes back. survives the onslaught, but Miran Fabjan walks his man down and just so relaxed, comes in behind the elbow. And Hatef Moeil just does not fancy this and can't find a way of dealing with Miran Fabjan. And I mean, he is a weapon of mass destruction. He's just a force of nature, this man. Lost against Stosic, but only narrowly. What's he going to do here tonight? Stosic was the original opponent, but just look at Hatef Moeil. He looks like a man that's standing on the edge of a precipice. He is so wary of Miran Fabjan. Fabjan has slowed down the pace. We're under a minute left in this first round. As you can imagine, you couldn't keep that up. I mean, the absolute launch of shots, the barrage, he ignited early doors. So, trying to hit the body now, Fabjan, not just so concentrated on the headshots, but he slowed down a bit, and that's not a good sign.
I think Fabjan's trying to get him to throw and find a clear opening. That's typically what we see from him, but Moeil is showing composure and a serious chin. He has taken some big punches. I'd love to see some kicks from Fabjan. Moeil looks ripe for the picking there.
So the standoff here, and as you can understand, well, there's a shoot for a takedown. 10-second clapper. Fabjan doesn't even sprawl to defend it. Moeil looking to take his man out. Referee separates them, and I think that stumble by Miran Fabjan right there after having his leg picked up was more out of exhaustion than anything.
And this may be the break he needs. 60 seconds, a bit of water. It's definitely a break that both fighters need at this juncture. Moeil looks very tired. I mean, we've seen him in some steadier fights. Like I said, he has gone 25 minutes, which is going to be tougher. It's always going to be tougher when you're nearly 120 kilograms.
Well, he's taken some big heavy shots. Fabjan needs to conserve energy now and just be a bit more targeted.
There, just the heavy leather that we saw from Miran Fabjan. Moeil was trying. I think he landed one good right hand in that round, but it was mostly Miran Fabjan doing just this. Straight rights, good short hooks. Love that shovel uppercut there with the left. And Moeil just took punishment to the nth degree and still managed to stay in the upright.
But just looking very closely, a lot of the shots weren't on target. Just at the end there, he got very precise, but a lot of stuff was thrown that didn't hit the target, and that's what's exhausted Fabjan here. You know, definitely first round to Fabjan. He's absolutely made such a nuisance of himself, but Moeil is back, and he looks invigorated. Goes for the single leg, that's what the corners instructed, getting that leverage to get Fabjan down on the ground. Now this could be the turn.
Veteran turn. Moeil's corner would have gotten him a bit of respite, and more importantly, a change in tactics straight in the head. No more of this messing around on the feet. Get him down immediately, and that's exactly what he did within 30 seconds.
Well, I have to say, after that first round, if pain had a name, it would be Miran Fabjan. However, huge weight advantage, huge height advantage, and Hatef Moeil in this position on top could work the GMP to his advantage, tries to turn Miran Fabjan and succeeds in doing it. Now Fabjan could find himself in a world of pain, and it could be payback. That left hand, the elbow of Moeil, really cross-facing, causing a lot of nuisance and aggravation and discomfort for Fabjan, and Fabjan taking shots now, and Moeil could reverse this.
Yeah, he did a great job of getting into half, settling, working his way across the body, pitting the shoulders and the hips. You can see Fabjan trying to turn in and work the knee shield here, but that massive 17-kilogram weight advantage from Moeil is always going to be a factor. Moeil thinking about far side arm control, couldn't get the figure four with the double wrist lock. Fabjan knows what to do. I mean, we have to remember, we saw him work these positions in getting back up against Darko Stosic, or for example against Alexander Illich.
But the weight, the consistency with which Moeil is bringing that forearm down, turning away Fabjan to avoid damage, but it's going to take its toll, and he's not doing a good job of controlling Moeil. Moeil just a little bit too much of his own way in that top position. 2 minutes 50 on the clock. Unless Fabjan works a way out of this, it's going to be a tough night from here on in.
And it'll be a long night, because I think Moeil will be able to get this fairly quickly, especially because all of his other tools that are often giving him advantages are so taxed. Taking this fight with a questionable amount of training in the run-up, and after a fight April 12.
So just working that top position so well, the extra weight making the difference, and he's punishing Fabjan. Fabjan just could have resisted that takedown, and if he could, well, he wouldn't be in this position, obvious though it may seem, but he just doesn't want to be on the ground, and the corner just said take him down straight away, and that's where your advantage lies. This is the writing on the wall for Miran Fabjan, unless he can make life difficult for Moeil and survive the round. Well, this is our last bout tonight, the main event. What a night it's been at FNC23 in Belgrade, Serbia. And it ain't over yet, but your ticket money's right here. Miran Fabjan against Hatef Moeil.
Moeil's doing a good job of just smashing the knee shield and slowly working his way. You could see him actually trying to control Fabjan's right arm a couple of times and pin it with his left knee. It's not the most technical pass. Okay, here we go. Now Fabjan is thinking about maybe trying to come out the back. If Moeil could trap that right arm of Fabjan, he could work himself into a crucifix, but those elbows are going to start to accumulate here, Will.
This is just too long in the round for Fabjan to be in this position, and Fabjan is just going to get slowly discombobulated. Having said that, Moeil has not managed to finish Fabjan. Fabjan's still defending, protecting his head. He hasn't cut or caused too much damage, has he? I mean, Fabjan's still very much in this, but it's raining pain, and he's just relaxed and taking it, trying to cause problems for that left hand of Moeil. Moeil has had to give up position to try and get some of that ground and pound to work, but looks very coherent, doesn't he, Fabjan? Still in this, but very uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job of avoiding a lot of the damage. There, that's what you're waiting for, a moment to scramble, a moment to use the energy.
Now, if he controls it right and causes a problem here, Fabjan is going to punish Moeil for that. And look at that. Moeil throws, but Fabjan has to defend on the wire, easily taken down. And all that, you would have thought that he'd have kept distance and tried to keep away from this. But in this position now, it could be a world of pain. There's the end of the round. Wow, that was gruesome, and it was grueling.
It was absolutely grueling. Great job there from Hatef Moeil to get that takedown, just slide straight into mount. Had he had more than the 14 seconds or so on the clock, it could have been a very, very different outcome. That's the strategy. That's the proof of concept for the UFD gym here. Get him down and keep him down, and probably keep him down away from the fence.
Well, every time he turns up, just like Vaso Bakocevic, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. What you do know you're going to get is a night of real intensity. This is just unbelievable, the punishment meted out by Moeil. But he's a hard nut. He's a hard nut, Fabjan, and he took most of that. That was very, very uncomfortable to go almost a whole round in that position.
Yeah, there we go, the Dagestani handcuff. Really sharp ground and pound from Hatef Moeil. This was that control that we spoke about. We're really settled into the half guard and spent 2-3 minutes actually working the pass on Fabjan. There towards the end of the contest in the second, he was nearly able to get crucifixed, just heavy hammer fist. Lopsided round in his favor, and undoubtedly a very tiring round for both fighters, but maybe more tiring for Miran Fabjan, the inverse of the first.
Just look at them throw there. Third and final round. I never thought we'd get here. However, we have, and what a climax, what a culmination to an evening of absolutely superb fight sport and MMA combat action. FNC23 delivers here, and as I say, watch your listings on fnc.hr, the website, to give you all the details about upcoming FNC events. Here we have our main event in the heavyweight division, the third and final round. Fighting red, Miran Slow Rocky, Fabjan. Slow, short for Slovenian. And Hatef, the boss, Moeil. Well, I don't know how this is going to go. I do know that if Fabjan goes to the ground, it's not going to advantage him. He's got to stay in the upright and see if he can Hail Mary or down Hatef Moeil. But Moeil now in this position could win if these punches are unanswered and undefended by Miran Fabjan. And he's calling for it, but Fabjan has got up. And that's guts, that's determination. He's fighting on fumes. Miran Fabjan, and he gets taken down again. He just didn't need that.
And this fight I had tied up going into the third round, and it really came down to position and strategy, and so far that's working out in the favor of Hatef Moeil. This is going to be a real big problem if he can clear out of that half. Yes, excellent. He now has a good opportunity here really to seal this thing in his favor. Fabjan is exhausted, Will.
Yeah, absolutely, and just taking too many shots. Just look at the relentless consistency with which Moeil is driving in those punches, and he did that through that round. That's a testimony to Fabjan, but he doesn't need the testimony. He needs to get up off the wire and see if he can land a big shot. Well, it ain't pretty, but Moeil has been effective here in the last two rounds. And Fabjan has used all his energy just trying to get up from that position.
And he recovered very well from the first. He actually regained a lot of energy, a considerable amount of energy between the first and the second. And that I really think allowed them to implement the game plan of getting the takedown, working the positions, and making Fabjan more tired. Wow, how the tables have turned, Will.
Yep, it looked like one-way traffic all the way. Fabjan gets up. No, he's called it off. The referee has called it off. That's it. That's it! Moeil has done it. Miran Fabjan bludgeoned into submission. As I say, it weren't pretty, but it's done the job. And that matchup, all I can describe as a lab experiment. Gee whiz. And some sportsmanship there. Moeil goes and hugs Miran Fabjan. It's nice to see that the beef and the gripe is all gone. It is sport, and we like to see a display of Budo from the contestants, as it were. But it's a win for Hatef Moeil. Just sheer volume. And look at that man, he just smiles. What a big heart.
It was a good stoppage for sure. The ref gave multiple instructions for Fabjan to not only show intelligent defense, but to improve his position, and that he wasn't able to do. That's the rules of the game. It's nice to see both fighters embrace as well, like you said, Will. This was a fight that, you know, could have easily been pulled, and Fabjan came in and saved the show. Moeil fought a very, very different opponent, and he excelled after a very turbulent first 5 minutes.
Wow. Well, if that didn't leave you on the edge of your seats, I don't know what will. It really was a funfair ride. Here's a look at some of the action. I mean, it was just continuous attrition from Moeil, and the referee was right to stop him. That was a cul-de-sac for Miran Fabjan. There was no way out. There was nowhere he was going. He was exhausted. And that was a huge weight differential. And you've got to big up Miran Fabjan for taking that fight on, as you said, Chris, last minute against an opponent that he hadn't trained for, didn't have a camp for.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes after 2 minutes and 24 seconds completed
in terms of stats. But anyway, here's the decision.
Your winner by way of TKO in the blue corner, Hatef, the boss, Moeil.
Chris, the moments for you tonight. What stuck out?
That's a very, very potentially long answer. I have to say from the very beginning, you know, seeing the kickboxers come into MMA, I was really impressed as well with Pavel Polituo. I think he could be a future title challenger. And I have to say, Vasa Bakocevic, who would have thought? One punch.
Well, it was a fun-filled card, there's no doubt about that. It was thrills and spills all the way here at FNC, it always is. For me, I think the Bojkovic fight stood out. I think Ahilej was on form. That could be the KO of the evening. We'll have to wait and see. But you've got to wish all the fighters all the best. What a performance they put on tonight, and you know, you've got to look forward now to how the cards are going to look for FNC going forward. What a night. What a good night for Octopus Gym, Vuj. What a great night for UFD Gym, and of course the perennial favourites, the FNC products from the Croatian gym. It's just an absolute fun fair of fight sports here at FNC. A crowd north of 20,000. You've got to give props to the organisers. They're all there. Forgy, Mr. Berman, and Hatef Moeil. Well, it looked like he was on ice skates at one point, but a truly international card for Fight Nation Championships. That's the name of the promotion. Fighters from Germany, fighters from Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, the States, Italy, and now Iran. Who'd have thought? We're going to hear what the winner's got to say for himself before we disappear tonight, but I'm glad the beef has gone from all of the matchups tonight. So let's hear what Hatef has got to say if he can find the breath.
Hatef, congratulations. That was really tough fight, but at the end you managed to knock him out in the third round, win by TKO. How do you feel right now, and how difficult was it?
اول میگه بهت تبریک میگیم و اینکه نزدیک بود ناکوچی، اما برگشتی و مسابقه خیلی سخت و برد. حس چیه؟ احساس چیه؟ Belgrade, love you. He says in the first round, especially first minutes, he wasn't himself. Physically, he felt like he's not focused. Not because of him, but he just says in the locker room he was thinking about other things. It could be some family issue related. But now he said, I found myself in the second and third round, and you saw what happens. I can take any hit.
One more time, congratulations. You are such a tough guy. It's impossible to knock you out. Dame I gospodo, i pljesak za Mirana Roki Fabjana. Mislim da je pokazao izdržljivost i sjajnu borbu. Now, when you won against Mir,
FNC, I am ready for next fight.
I know that you are ready, and we have a guy who will welcome you again to the FNC, and then that's your old friend, Darko Stosic.
Darko je jedan gentleman, jako good man.
Roki, čestitam na još jednoj odličnoj borbi, iznenadio me i pravi je istinski Roki, svaka čast. If Hatef wants to fight me, I can fight with him in Arena Zagreb on 6th of September. Yep.
Evo ga, 6.9. imamo novi meč. Hatef Moeil protiv Darka Stosića u Areni Zagreb. Mislim da bolji match-up nismo mogli dobiti. Još jednom pljesak, molim vas za sve. Hvala vam Srbijo, hvala ti Beograde, bilo je sjajno. Vidimo se naravno iduće godine.
Well, Darko Stosic calls it tonight. The 6th of September is the FNC date to watch for. Chris, the numbers?
It was the overall volume that really took over from Hatef Moeil. You can see what was thrown, you can see what was landed, and it really happened from the second and third on the ground. 361 seconds overall of ground control time. Saw him open up that TKO finish there in the third. What resilience and incredible heart, of course, shown by Fabjan to step up on short notice.
What a night, what a presentation. FNC23 live from Belgrade here in Serbia. As I say, FNC.hr is the website for all the upcoming FNC events. 6th of September is the next one that's been slated. We hope you've enjoyed tonight as much as we have. I've been the Sensei Will Vanders.
And I'm the Guru, Chris Hoekstra.
Till the next time, from the both of us,
Oos!